Hi everyone. Welcome to the Leaf Heart Path. My name is Andrea Graham. I am an intuitive healer, a Reiki and cord cutting practitioner, and a tarot reader. If any of those services sound interesting to you, you can book a one-on-one session with me. Details are in the description box below, along with links to my social media, website, and Amazon list. If you'd like to donate to my channel, the links are posted below as well. This week's pick a card reading focuses on the current role you are playing in the story of your life. During our lifetime, we experience many adventures, many challenges, and joyful moments. This reading is meant to dig into what space you are currently occupying in your narrative. What is your current energy trying to tell you? How can you best occupy this role and turn up your star power? What do you need to do to move forward and to grow? For those who are interested, this inner quest reading is described in the Wild Unknown Archetype deck guidebook created by Krans. And she actually said this was the inspiration behind the creation of this particular deck. For those of you that are interested in decks, if you don't have this one yet, it's amazing. So your reading is going to look a little bit like this. First, we'll be exploring the archetype that is the most dominant in your energy right now. And that's actually how you're going to be selecting your piles today. This is who you are in this role. What's the heart of this energy of you in this particular space right now? We'll also be looking at the setting, which is the energy surrounding the situation, the stage, the backdrop. This can also influence your behavior in subtle or larger ways because this often reveals the problem that you're facing right now. To unfold your story, we'll look for the key, and the key is going to be the tool that you must use or find or create or give up in order to move things forward. And then, of course, we have our why. So why are you on this current path? What's the deeper purpose behind your journey? What are you searching for? This is essentially the mythic theme or the challenge you face as you approach your growth edge. Is there something that needs integration here so you can truly step into yourself and shine from within? This is your why. We'll also pull a few oracle cards to gain additional insights into your story. So I'm really excited to dive into this with you. Are you ready for your quest? Okay, so you have 4 groups to choose from. Each is topped with a painted rock today. Our first group, group 1, you have got the moon and stars. This one kind of looked like a moon rock when I got it. It has these little dimples all over it, so it seemed to make sense to paint it that way. We also have a leaf for group 2. Group 3, you've got the mountain. Group 4, it's probably hard to see on camera. This is a very hungry caterpillar. Any of you recognize that book by Eric Carle? I think it starts out in the light of the moon, a little egg lay on a leaf. Take a moment to center yourself, take a deep breath, and choose your pile. You can pause the video should you need a little more time to select. And for those who are ready, I will see you over in your video. Hi, group 1. If you picked this moon and stars rock, then this is going to be your inner quest reading. Welcome. We're going to dive right into it. So let's take a look at the cards that we have today. So the first thing we're going to look at is our Who card. So this is the archetypal side of yourself that is currently dominant in your energy. This is where we need our attention in order for you to move forward on your quest. And so your role here is the queen. Okay, the next is our setting. This is the where of the story. It's the backdrop of this tale. And in this case, yours is the womb. So a lot of feminine energy going on here. Thirdly, we ask with what? This is our key, this is our tool, this is our card that will help you move forward, and yours is the vision. And finally, the why. This is Eros. It's our initiation card. What are you being invited to integrate more of into your life? What is the deeper purpose of this current quest, this queen energy? Okay. Very interesting. Let's jump into our cards here. Let's look at the queen first. So, because you're the queen in this instance, group 1, you want to think of this first as the energy in this archetype. So some questions for you to think about: what makes a queen, first of all, and what energies go into this particular role for you. And then, of course, how are you a queen? This idea of a queen is going to be very, very different. It's going to look different, it'll sound different, it'll feel different, the actions will be different depending on whoever is watching this at this time. I'm also getting, with this, a sense of isolation and the knowledge of a heavy responsibility, or even the word burden, group 1, is coming to mind here. Duty, obligation, and this is tied into perhaps DNA for some of you, family, almost like a succession in some instances is the word I might use. I'm sorry if you hear clacking upstairs, that's my dog walking around. Just consider you're getting a little high from him. So this person has claimed their seat at the table, this queen, right? On the throne, but may feel a bit alone in all of this. So how will they make their way in the world? How will you make your way in the world? For some of you too, you may be quite young and there are just things that you're doing, that you're going about, and you're having to do those things alone. And so that's some of that isolation energy I'm getting, but that's not going to be for everybody again. So in this queen energy, there are expectations to be met, there are boxes to be checked, there are obligations to fulfill. But where this is coming in, I'm seeing a lack of a mentor, a parent, a role model, a partner, a helpmate, someone that you can ask questions with, be vulnerable with, without any fear of repercussions. Just truly being yourself, a place where you can drop masks, because we all wear masks in one capacity or another. And if you are in a more visible space like a queen energy would be, maybe through social media, maybe you're just high up there somewhere, maybe you just feel like you have all eyes on you in the family right now, you're going to have masks. You're not always going to be able to completely drop those and be yourself. And so there may be questions that you have. You may just feel like you're going in this alone. And so right now for me, what I'm seeing you on this throne doing is just, you're sitting and you're waiting. The energy is magnetic. Obviously, this is a very beautiful card. The colors are saturated. We've got a lotus blossom here. It's quite magnetic, but I am feeling a little intimidated at the same time, like I'm a fish out of water. Someone lacking a connection that they are desperately desiring. Some kind of connection, whatever that is for you. Lack is the word, and I think that is what's weaving our story together here. It feels like you've partially settled into this role. And group 1, your resolve is huge. The throne is powerful, but you lack some faith in yourself, and you could use a candle to light your way. Guidance. Even though we have a full moon here, I'm not sure that it's a light that you can see by right now. It feels like you're here, but you haven't yet arrived. And I'm just noticing here, this reminds me of blood. And so that brings me back to ancestry and DNA, the colors right there. Who can you trust? Trust might be a thing for you, for some of you in group 1. So let's see what this means in the context of the womb. So this is our setting, and it again, to me, is talking about lack. Not having that trusted mentor or mother figure or friend, a partner, an equal, any kind of helpmate. In a space that doesn't honor the feminine, you are still expected to be queen. And I mean, in many societies, the females being in a feminine energy is not respected or honored. But you still have to uphold certain expectations or obligations, whether that's the way you're acting, the way you're looking, those kinds of things, what you do and don't do. So you're in a space currently that I think doesn't see you for your beautiful soul, the richness. But you're expected to achieve greatness regardless. It might be to keep doing whatever it is you need to do, creating things, producing things, or reproducing in one sense, when it may not be what you want or need. You might be absolutely burned out or exhausted for some of you. And for others, as I'm going back to the reproduction thing, it actually could be the literal opposite, as in you are seeking to reproduce in the most literal form, looking for unification by family, looking to fill that, I don't want to say fill a void, but that just might feel like this is something I need to do. You're ready. But you may not have everything you need around you, or people might be looking at you in such a way. I'm thinking of examples where you might have a single parent, well, a single person who decides they want to have a child, whether that's through adoption, IVF, whatever, surrogacy, and, other people might be looking at them, but you're single. Why would you do that? And that's where this can also tie in. So for some of you, that might be your current journey. It does feel like you have a lot to achieve, no matter what your journey is, group one. But this is a difficult space to be in if you are not able to be receptive. And I don't mean you're not receptive. I mean, you may not be allowed to be receptive and yourself. You may have to fight for that. So perhaps some of you are in a job or an occupation or a space where you feel vastly different, unprepared, or intimidated right now. You may be faced with what feels like some kind of insurmountable obstacle, and this responsibility in the space you find yourself in causes all kinds of eyes to be on you, as we talked about before. But it may be a rather cutthroat kind of space to be in, or if that's not the term, a space where you don't feel steady or safe and you feel you have to be calculated with your moves, assertive to the point of being aggressive, perhaps because of your gender in some instances or your preferences, something that makes you feel the thing that makes you you, the diamond within you, your unique characteristics that make you shine, your qualities that ordinarily make you stand out so much can feel like an Achilles heel right now. This just feels like everything is a game of chess and there isn't any warmth. And so when I say that you have to be assertive to the point of being aggressive because of maybe some things that are going on, that's kind of the shadow aspect of the queen. And that can come out, when we have to sit in this energy where we can't be ourselves. Where you have to, because of circumstance, be angry or aggressive. Just to survive. So needless to say, wherever you sit, you feel a lack. I think you feel a division. If you have arrived at this particular reading, you feel ununified. Is that a word? You need nourishment. You need love. You need acceptance. You need a safe space to thrive. Warmth. The womb is what you seek. Okay. So let's talk about the vision. This is a pretty cool card. This has so many layers to it. The dark forest, the owls, the symbol of intuition, the moon, where the hands are, almost looks like it's on the belly. The mountain in the background. Very interesting. So, to me, your tool, your key, the thing that you need, your guidance to help you move forward is your own vision. It's about realizing that potential, realizing your potential to come forth with that answer, to go forward with things, to realizing that you can do this. It's realizing that you have potential, you have opportunities that are there, but you might not just be able to see things right now because you may be feeling overwhelmed. For some of you, this might be your vision, your process for solution seeking might be bringing in someone to help with process. It might be brainstorming. It could be, very analytical, straightforward approach. Seeking out somebody if permission's granted to help you go through what you need to go through. Eliminating possibilities, coming up with new ones, just somebody you can kind of check all the boxes off with, go over everything, checks and balances. So If you're not a spreadsheet or an analytical person, a checklist kind of person, read all the books, research, you might try to go the opposite route. You might try to meditate or glean information from a creative and intuitive process. So some of you might use divination tools like tarot to help you, for example. This is about settling into trust, trusting yourself, trusting your gut, which is a big part of using our intuition. So when we talk about trusting our gut, it can mean the solar plexus area, a sinking feeling, a restriction, an elevator drop to a yes or no question is generally a negative. And a positive response would be something like an uplifting or expanding feeling. It's almost like butterflies, and it can almost go up into your chest area, especially if it's a very, very strong hit. And we call that clairsentience, which is clear feeling. So that's just those like physiological responses we get. And it's almost like being a human barometer when you start to tune into that. And the more you rely on this kind of check and trust your gut, and that's just one example, the more powerful it becomes and the more you begin to trust yourself. Trust in the self is one of the components that this queen energy needs to back up her resolve and power, to be able to sit in sovereignty on the throne of her own heart. That's truly a magnetic place to be when you've arrived at that spot, that goal, and that confidence. This is where you start to radiate it and power. And you may find suddenly that the right people and places and tools and things in life just show up. Things fall into your lap, whatever that looks like for you, whatever your quest is. And finally, we have Eros. So Eros can be about sensuality, divine femininity, receptivity. So we have a lot of female-dominated energy going through the story, and it's really a softening, it's a joining. And in this instance, this is when and where we're definitely craving being part of something that is outside of us. So here we're kind of sitting in as kind of almost an us versus them, feeling that divisiveness, is that the right word? Feeling a separation. It's where the lack is evident. Yeah. And Eros is just talking about that. It's wanting to be part of that other person. Or an experience, again, a movement, whatever it is that you're seeking, unification. It's a primal longing that lack points us toward. And so when we see something we want, for an example, we begin to see it everywhere we look. So say you purchase a new car, you get rid of your old car that you really loved, and suddenly you're seeing your old car everywhere. And before you maybe didn't notice that. When we lose somebody, you might start to see their face in the crowd, the back of the head, the way they walk. Things are going to start to remind you of that. Your brain is primed to notice, what's missing. And there's that lack. That's Eros right there. So the question is, what are you currently perceiving, group one, that you are separate from? What are you longing for? Is it acceptance? Is it a friendship? Is it a lover? Is it understanding? A partner, a child? What does your soul want to merge with currently? Are you seeking to drop barriers and be truly seen and accepted for who you are? Which is, I really feel everybody wants that. Do you want to rise up and meet the challenges and the expectations of those around you and to be seen for the queen that you truly are, regardless of the title? Maybe you want to be defined on your own terms. And so there's things you want to shrug off. And are you seeking someone to rule by your side, or are you seeking that trust, I think most importantly, in yourself? The candlelight of guidance and the knowledge that you are making sound choices and decisions. We talked about that candlelight of guidance at the beginning. That's what that inner flame is. And I think this message overall is that it's okay to melt a little right now, to let some warmth in, to acknowledge what it is you truly desire. And I think by acknowledging these wants and needs, you're in a better position to understand yourself, your goals, and the current path that you're on. So trust yourself that you have the answers, and see where your visions take you, group 1. Now I have a little bit of extra support here for you in the form of some other cards here. And so I have some crystal cards. We've got cacoxanite. Try to get that in focus. There we go. This is New Beginnings. It's a fun stone. And Amazonite, Life Purpose. Okay. So, with New Beginnings and Amazonite, this is interesting because to me, these two things, the New Beginnings and the Life Purpose, it looks like that should you endeavor to move through this quest, you are going to be successful with it. You will climb the mountain. You will have trust in yourself, the sovereignty you seek because of these new beginnings, the start of the new cycle. This is you closing the cycle out, and part of this experience may actually be tied to a life purpose or life lesson for you, something that has driven you for some time. And to be able to integrate this and learn it through living it, to stand on top of the mountain, truly is a beautiful new view indeed. Something you can do here is just screenshot these cards so you can refer back to them. I think for those of you who like purchasing crystals, cacoxanite I think is a little more expensive. Amazonite I feel like you can find at a lot of gem and mineral stores or shows, metaphysical stores, that kind of thing. You can get both of them online, from reputable and ethical dealers. But really, all you need is a picture too, especially if you're somebody who is clairsentient, as we were talking about before. Sometimes I'll pull one of these cards out, whatever I need, and I just put it on my nightstand next to me, and it can work passively, or I can be passive while it's working actively on me in my energy field while I sleep. And so that's an option for you as well. You don't actually have to own the stone. You can just take the energy of the photo and it will continue to work on you even if you can't feel it. Okay, let's talk about here. I have a spirit cat card for you. And whoop. There we go. Okay. Cute, right? I love that. So this is Flow. Meet Zephyr. She is flexible, flowing, and gentle like a light wind. She intuitively responds to the rhythms of the world around her, and when a door opens, she just walks through, easy as a breeze. When the door closes, she circles, eddies, and finds a window to slip silently through. She blooms with a spring and knows how to let go with a fall. She is change, and she welcomes change. Her strength comes not through resistance, but through perfect flow like a river, sculpting the rocks, finding and making the space to keep moving. Very nice. So this here tells me it's about not fighting, especially if you feel like you're stuck in that energy, and sometimes we have to. But it's finally being able to soften and put down some barriers and allow. And so this could be a sign that this is where you're headed, where you can have a little more of this ease in your life. From this space, that's where the unity is coming in. The seed of confidence takes root, and that helps you grow into that queen energy. Okay, and then I also have an angel card. These are Angelus, and I'm not sure if I can get this to focus. There we go. Angelus angel cards for healing. The artist is Katie Russell, and I will link her information below, but she's an artist who had a near-death experience and started seeing angels from that point forward. I found her work in a store where I was so drawn to a painting that was there, I had to purchase it, and then I got her cards. And you can do the same thing with these if you order them. They're little teeny tinies. They come in a cute little treasure chest, and you can just put them out and work with them and get to know the angels a little bit better. Leave it on your nightstand, carry it with you. Hopefully you can see that. I had to look up this name, how to pronounce it, and there were at least 3 or 4 different ways to say it. So Hamia was one, Hamaya is another one, And this is honor. And this could not be more perfect for you guys. And this, again, is another one that's pretty powerful, and it has the energy in it right there. So the appearance of this angel, I think, is just like having that trusted advisor by your side that you've been looking for. Hamia is about being honest and maintaining authenticity, even in the face of adversity. It's about integrity, which is, I hear the word integrity and I'm like, oh, it's so important, I think, for what's coming through here. Being transparent about your wants and needs. Recognizing what your heart truly wants and allowing it to keep that candle flame of hope alive as you're navigating your path. And Hamia is an angel that you can work with on your journey, group 1. They will be by your side if you ask them to be. So group 1, that is the message surrounding your current story and the role you're playing in it. Hopefully this gave you some advice about moving forward in your starring role. I'd love to hear about what resonated for you in the comment box below. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new uploads. Take care, group 1, and thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate your support, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye. Hi, group 2. Welcome to your inner quest reading. If you picked this painted leaf, then this is your reading. Okay, let's talk a little bit about our cards today. So the first thing that we have and that we are going to be looking at is our Who card. This is the archetypal side of yourself that is currently dominant in your energy. This is the card that you use to help you pick this pile. And it's where we need attention in order for you to move forward. So your Who in this story, your starring role, is that of the shaman. A lot of interesting imagery there. Okay. I apologize if you hear that scrabbling upstairs. That's my dog. And so he's giving you a little hello if you can hear that. Okay, the next card we're going to be looking at is the Where. This is the setting of the story. It's the backdrop of the tale, and it can actually have quite a big impact on this energy here. And what we have is the River. Okay. Our third card is going to be the Tool card, the key. It's what we use. It is the thing that helps us move forward. It's sometimes something we find, it's something we use, it's something we create. And it's we kind of ask with what? With what? How are we using this to move forward? This is interesting because this actually makes a lot of sense. We have a shaman down by the river with a stone. I just always think of that shaman energy as being very in tune with nature. Okay. And then finally we have our initiation card. This is our why. It's the question we ask, what are you being invited to investigate and to integrate in this particular story that's happening? What's the deeper purpose of your current quest? And for you, this is going to be Kairos or Kairos. I've heard it both ways. I apologize if I'm not pronouncing things correctly. Okay. So let's look at your cards here, group 2. I'm excited. So we know you are the shaman in this story. And this means you're well established in your craft, your trade, your calling, whatever it is. You are someone who's comfortable being steeped in emotion. You marinate in it. You don't shy away from your shadows or any uncomfortable truths. You accept things as they are in the realm of emotions, and you can sit in spaces that would often make other people probably run for the hills. And you've likely been through quite a bit in your life up to this point to get here. See the diamond there? Like the backs of the cards that we have. Challenges, difficulties, uphill battles, trauma. And I feel like you've lived, group 2. You know, and others can see that in your soul, through your eyes. And it's not a wound anymore because you're somebody who deals with things. This is a glow. And I should backtrack. It's not that other people can't deal with things. It's that sometimes they're unable to. But I feel like you're somebody who tackles things right on. This is an activation. You have been through an initiation, a rite of passage, and you've worked hard on yourself to address what needs to be taken care of. You pay attention to your emotions when they well up and they burst forth. You're not somebody who suppresses them. You allow them the focus that they need, the space that they need, and you hold that space without a judgment. And that probably makes your light even brighter to other people. And so they may be calling you a healer because you are a healer. That may not necessarily be your specific occupation. Just like you're likely not a shaman, but for some, you may be in a healing occupation. It's as much DNA as experience. It's a seed that's inside of you that needs to take root, and under the correct conditions will burst forth, perhaps resulting in what we call a dark night of the soul. You don't get to this space without having that happen. This isn't a light that you can dim. It's in your aura. It's coming off your fingertips, your eyes. You heal yourself. You heal others. You heal your community, the world at large. Your presence alone heals. Being near you heals. Listening to someone heals. There may also be something very resonant in your voice as well. It may be soothing or very calming. Your energy beckons to people. It's like a lighthouse. Children, animals, all creatures of Mother Earth, plants even, crystals. You're very others-oriented. Although you may be a bit reserved and introverted for some of you, but only because I think it's because you feel so deeply, which means you might require time alone to recharge your batteries. You likely have some kind of meditation practice or something you engage in to tune into the universe. Prayer may also be important to you. I just am seeing like a thread that connects you, something that just lights that cord up, lights that thread up. And I see information coming to you like you're channeling, just this light, white light coming down. And that makes you the bridge between worlds, between the sacred, between what we're seeing up there, the universe, and then just the everyday. You find the places where the light comes in, portals, doorways, gates, passageways to ancient magic. You see the beauty in places where others cannot. There's something special about you that others who aren't as initiated may not be able to put their fingers on, but they just know it when they see you. You also might be somebody who really takes their time. You know that healing, that your magic, the way you conduct yourself, your job, whatever it might be, is not to be rushed. You can't rush something good. You may even walk at a slower pace than those around you. The thing is, I think others unconsciously match that energy. So you may cause others to match that walking pace without even trying, or just your energy in general. So you could walk into some place where people are anxious and nervous, and you would probably pick up on that right away. And then just you being in there, everyone starts to calm down. It's this lighthouse, huge aura you have. It permeates everything it touches, and your energy merges easily with objects, people, places. And I think others may find that time slows down a little bit with you. You understand cycles as well. You don't force things. You never force things. You allow everything its time and its place. But you're here on a quest. So, all right, shaman, let's look at your setting. So we're in the river. I keep thinking it was Chris Farley being in a van down by the river. Saturday Night Live. It's an old skit. But anyway, I'm dating myself. The river here is pure emotion. It's riding the tide as the dam bursts forth. And so that's something that you're comfortable with. Not that it always feels good. So if this is the backdrop of our story, then group 2, you may be experiencing some kind of grief or loss or some kind of big change. It may have been unexpected, as we like have a tower moments that would be an equivalent for that in tarot. I do see rushing waters rising up from seemingly nowhere. And so something may have happened that kind of took you off your feet. You know, though, it's not nowhere. These feelings are not coming out of nowhere. You examine them, you dig in a bit deeper, you ask yourself, what's this feeling connected to? Why am I feeling sad or anxious or grief-stricken or fearful? Whatever it is, insert your own. The thing is, you might just not want to at the moment. You actually might be feeling kind of good. But you know, once you dip that toe into the water, once you wade in there, you will never see things in quite the same way again. Deep emotions change. They change you when you allow them to baptize you and to wash over you. So is this fear for you? The loss of innocence, of who you used to be? You don't want to step any further in? I think you understand this change all too well because you've already gone through some kind of initiation or rite of passage or dark night of the soul, or else you would not be in this energy of the shaman. You emerged. You've changed. There were more cracks after that to let the light in. And that's how others see you and recognize you and know you're special and different. That's part of why that cord of light is so strong. That's why you're such a bridge. So I think you are finding yourself down by the river here, group 2, because of an upheaval or a loss or suppression of emotions that seem to bubble up from a deep abyss. As much as we want to think we've looked at every single part of us, that we know our own hearts deeply. I don't know if you can hear the sirens going by, so that might be a signal for some of you. Pay attention. As much as we want to think that we've examined every part of us, that we know our own hearts deeply, we don't always touch on everything, and a shaman knows there's always work to be done. So it is possible that you aren't aware of where these feelings are coming from, but you are definitely feeling a certain kind of way right now, group 2. And it feels like something that's out of your control, beyond your reach. Even your capacity to heal does not spare you from the floodwaters of the river. But there is a part of you that's fighting it, that's wanting to tamper it down, wanting to control it, to gain ground, get back up on the banks, and shape the experience, change it perhaps, and maybe that's where this is coming in, to turn back the clock. I'm hearing that Cher song. I could turn back time. The river is forgiveness in physical form. And if that's the case, will you choose to wade its waters? Is there something or someone that needs forgiving in your life? Is it you? Do you need to forgive yourself? Because you know once you step in that you cannot fight it anymore. There will not be turning back the clock, because dipping that toe in means acceptance. The sharp edges are smoothed away. We no longer fight but drift into a new version of ourselves, and probably a lot further downstream than we were anticipating. A layer's gone and a new one is revealed. So what are you searching for, group 2? Your key, your tool, is the stone. Quite literally, it can mean a stone, a rock, a crystal, a talisman, an anchor, an object that transports you. And I think, I've got all kinds of alarms, huh? That yes, because of our why, this is about time. It's about loss and time, I think. Or longing for a different time. You know, it's natural like this was a river rock at one point. We pick up a stone by the river to see its smooth edges worn out over oceans of time. And the stone exists much longer than our physical forms ever will. It is something that binds us to the now. And like a fossil we may find in banks of shale, it may whisper to us from the past. An anchor. Rocks, fossils, crystals, we know they all have their own distinct energies. Those energies tell their own stories. They make their own impressions. These impressions can impact your own vibration, your own feelings, your own emotional state. Like us, like the shaman, a rock carries its own energy signature, but it also can be influenced by the energies of other things around it. Stones can pick up positive vibrations and negative as well. But as time marches on, these impressions and vibrations can be lost, as we will too be gone one day. But for now, the stone is here, and it's what you seek. Does this particular charm have meaning to you? What does it represent for you? Is it a bridge to an earlier time and an earlier place where things were a little easier before you experienced your moment, your loss, whatever it is, and things were happier, before you were inevitably changed and altered and grieving and in the river? Is it a key to a portal that only you can see? A place where time doesn't exist and where things slow down and you can see and experience and love again without the heaviness that is shrouding you right now? And the stone, it could be a love letter, a stuffed animal, a piece of jewelry, a watch, a ticket stub, a song, a scrapbook, a cigarette butt, a fragrance, cigar, tree, butterfly bush, a dog or a cat collar, a treasure box, a photo, a tube of half-used lipstick with the edges smoothed away just so. It could be a mandala that you create and destroy. And it could also be a rock. Shamans know better than many about time. Or perhaps it's a lesson for some of us. Time is precious. And the energy of Kairos can be urgency. It can also be slowed down and be mythic, but all roads lead us to the most precious resource here when this card comes up. And that most precious resource is time. It's something we can never get back again. But we know this, and it's okay. It's okay to be enveloped in the river, clutching your rock, your stone, and wishing that you could turn back time. The river will embrace you. It will float you for as long as you need. And you can climb out when it's time. So the message that I'm seeing here is that as time moves on, there may be some pebbles and some stones that you let go of. That's okay. Giving an offering back to the river, to the mother. And in time, you will see with bright and clear eyes again. A smile will grace your face again. This new layer has emerged from under your skin. It's shining and bright like a crystal or a stone that's wet and glistening from the muddy banks. You're on the bridge now. Or say you are the bridge now. The portal, the key, the memories and love that are in your heart. There's healing within you, and you radiate this light. You gleam. You are the stone, and you share this freely for all to see. So group 2, big hugs to you right now. All right, I have some other messages for you with other cards. We have crystal cards for you today. We have kunzite, self-love, which I've had some nearby, little tiny pieces, little happy pink things. And we also have emerald, compassion. All right, let's talk about that. So, crystals do have their own unique vibrations and energies. We talked about it earlier. And those vibes can influence our energy. They can influence our mood. Raw kunzite and emerald are affordable. You may wish to keep these on you so that they can do their work. And again, raw. And if you have a polished emerald, good on you. But for most folks, it's not quite as affordable. These do have their own magic to offer. You can also pause the video, take a picture of these, hunt up pictures of your own to find. It'll help you grab the essence and energy, and you can refer back to them when needed. Most of all, this is gentle healing energy, both of these, with the kunzite and emerald. It's about self-love, compassion, just for you during this time to be awash with this energy and accept it into yourself. So again, if you have these around, put them on your nightstand. You can carry them with you. I have a rough emerald, a raw emerald somewhere. Even cards like this, again, sometimes I'll pull them out and put it on my nightstand, so while I'm sleeping, they're doing the work for me. They can continue to do that. And so that's just a little something, then you don't have to worry about it as much. And you being active on it. I mean, you can meditate on these. You can hold them close to you if that makes you comfortable, but sometimes we don't want one more thing to have to think about, and these can be something that just kind of keep you company. Okay. We also have Spirit Cat card. Cute. Okay. This is Intuition. Meet Ghost Kitten. She's the light within us that helps us to guide through our life. She's always beckoning us to enter our inner world, to dig deep, and to meet her there. If you are quiet, you can hear her whispering to you, perhaps about a creative project or a person you should reach out to, or even leaving a stifling job. Play with what makes her whispers louder and clearer for you. Maybe it's meditation, or sleeping enough, or taking a shower. Experiment with following your intuition and notice what magic unfolds. Very nice. So this feels very appropriate to me, honoring your inner voice as the shaman would. Pay attention to the nudges, the whispers, and most of all, what do you need right now, group 2? How can you tune in your antenna? Oh my gosh. How can you tune your antenna into the universe? Because you have a bright light that's connected, a very, very bright one. And finally, Archangel Gabriel. So this card, this is an Angelus angel card for healing. This is by someone named Kati Russell. She is an estates artist, I think, who resides in Ohio. She actually had a near-death experience where she started seeing angels and was painting them from that point forward. And the energy of the angel, just like we were talking about here, are in the paintings. And I first was introduced to her work. I went to a gallery and somebody had one of her pieces and I had to get it just because of the energy there. Just absolutely beautiful. And she sells these teeny cards. I got them off her website. They come in a cute little treasure chest and you can pull them out just like we talked about working with these cards. Put it on your nightstand, talk to them, and you will start to pick up on the energies a little bit more, whether it's through feeling or whatever psychic sense or intuitive sense is the strongest for you. So with Archangel Gabriel, group 2, to me this is about honoring and giving voice to what needs to be shared, what needs to be said, what needs to be sung. In what ways can you honor your feelings? Give them a voice. Is it through writing, drawing, composing, learning something new, hiking the Appalachian Trail, taking up some kind of cause, painting a rock? You can call on Archangel Gabriel to be by your side and help you express your soul and your story and your song as you're going through life. They'll be there for support. So, group 2, that is the message surrounding your current story and the role that you are playing in it. Hopefully this gave you some advice about moving forward in this role, some validation for your journey. I'd love to hear about what resonated for you in the comment box if you're comfortable. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new uploads, and take care, group 2. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate your support, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye, friends. Hi, group 3. If you picked the mountain painted rock, then welcome to your inner quest story or your inner quest reading. We've got 4 cards to begin with. This is going to be our who of the journey. This is going to be where. This is going to be with what. And finally, our why. So let's jump into the who. And your card, group 3, is the Mystic. So this is the archetypal side of yourself that's currently dominant in your energy. This is where we need attention in order for you to move forward on this journey. Next, our where, the backdrop of our story. It can have quite a big influence. This is the mountain. And by I mean backdrop, it also can be kind of highlight what our problem is as well. Thirdly, we have our tool card with what? Venom. And finally, our why, and I hope I'm saying this right, Anima Mundi. This is the initiation card. What are you being invited to integrate in this story and on your journey? What's the deeper purpose of this current quest that you're on? Okay, so let's hop into it. Mystic group. So, because you're the mystic in this story, the mystic is somebody who already is on the inner quest all the time. With the butterfly here, see, this is what the mystic's power can do. This is about transformation. It's about evolution. It's about doing better. It's about being better. It's about taking the poison in a situation, in the self, in the soul, and transmuting it into something that's pure and healing. You're a change maker, group 3. This is the group that chooses growth above all else. So in a reading about the inner quest, you are the people that are most on an inner quest, I think, period. It's just part of your life path. So you may be someone who has a very calm or a soothing presence, but I feel like at the same time, there are other times where you can be jittery almost with your energy, needing to move on things, ready to go at the drop of a hat, ready to ascend the next peak, ready to tackle the next thing, always looking, always seeking something to heal, something to transform. And I feel like, though, if somebody were to interrupt your process, your momentum, your flow, you may be less than thrilled to drop whatever it is you're doing, even if they mean no harm. Which I'm sure most of them don't. Just like, hey, want to grab dinner? Or like, let's go do this. I'm in the middle of something. You know that healing takes time. Transformation cannot be rushed. And I feel like you'd be the kind of person that would not like to halt things before they're ready. You know, and even if that is just taking a pause, you know, and coming back to it, you might get a little annoyed. You're the type of person that would never pluck the fruit before it's ripe or be the frost that kills the bloom. In fact, if you see that kind of thing happening in the world or your community around you, it's likely going to get your hackles up. People who aren't coming from integrity or who do things to support systems that are in place at the cost of the health or well-being of other people, subordinates, the community at large. This kind of behavior that we're just talking about might be a magnet for you, which could be surprising or shocking to some of the instigators and our bloom killers out there, the frost bringers. They may not even understand the impact of their actions or how they too could be victims and yet at the same time beneficiaries of a system. Or they're so used to getting away with things that they don't realize that they've attracted you and your eye is drawn to this. It knows. Remember the Eye of Sauron in Lord of the Rings? That's like you. You aren't that kind of darkness, but it's the intensity of the gaze that I'm being drawn to. You can sit in darkness, you can sit with darkness, and you transmute it to light. These people may have unintentionally activated your interest, and you have become a surprise guest, likely uninvited. You see them, and what's going on? They have your full attention now, your gaze. You may freak a few people out, or this side of you may intimidate them. You may get a label for that. You may get some shade thrown your way, only because these people are trying to protect themselves within this system, and you are now a threat. Now, this won't be for everyone, but people may describe you as having a bit of a dreamy quality. You are often tuned into subtle energies around you, or daydreaming about your next steps. So even while you are with other people, you may have another foot somewhere else, or an eye fixed on the ethers, or turned toward another realm or other people. For some of you, people may describe you as having a lighthearted or daydream-like quality. But those who know you deeply, know your heart, and understand your devotion to transformation, they know the fire in your heart and your belly, and that you will not be held back. The creator of this deck, Krans, describes Shiva as a definitive figure in this archetype. In order to save the earth from darkness, Shiva swallows the poison of the world and holds it in his throat, slowly transmuting the liquid into nectar. She further explains that the mystic does not fear darkness, but rather sits in the presence of it, harnesses the potential and latent energy behind it, and imbues it with light. You may identify not just with the idea of a seeker or a mystic group 3, but also the term light worker, light bringer. If you found this pile, you are likely on your own spiritual journey right now, perhaps looking to take things to the next level. While so much of transformation happens within us, the mystic reflects that fire of change within, and in turn projects it out into the world, setting hearts aflame with just a touch. The beams of their light creating a cascade effect that can have enormous impact on the world. The setting of your story and your tale. And I'm noticing the color here is very similar inside the mountain there. But it is the mountain. So this can represent for you an obstacle, a peak, something you are working on, a goal you are working toward. And as a mystic, the idea here is to make certain that you wind up at the summit without feeling a great divide between yourself and the people around you who may be still at base camp. That you reach the heart of the mountain, the treasure, and that is something that you can share with other people. It brings its own healing and transformative qualities as you do that. You know, going back to that example of you noticing our bloom killer and frostbringer types, being the mystic, you have already undergone a deep transformation and healing, and are always ready to tackle the next thing. It's likely, however, that our bloom killers are those people that are still at base camp, at the bottom. Even if they get all their gear on, they're ready to try to climb up to the same peak as you and look out as you. They're ready for the challenge. They may struggle. You know, I'm seeing somebody who has the tools and the ambition, but they're lacking a mentor and the know-how. You know, everything's on, and they're just staring at the sheer rock face and jumping futilely. Is that a word? Futility, jumping in futility. They're trying to be a mountain goat, and they're not. Some will likely give up. I don't want to say they're not a mountain goat, but they're just not there yet. You got to have that growth mindset there. Tack that word "yet" into it. So some will likely give up, but there are others who will definitely want to be there with you, to understand what it is to be you and to learn from you. And if that's something that you identify with, you don't have to sit in that energy if you don't want to. The mountain is a reminder that we all have these journeys that we are taking, timing, preparedness, readiness, guidance. These are all factors in taking those first steps and then embracing the pain of change. Does someone have the tenacity, the resolve, the resilience to keep putting one foot in front of the other? We don't know unless they try. And you might be there with them, coaching them along. And so the message here is not to see yourself as too separated from those people, not to judge, which can be a very difficult thing to do as someone who's worked so hard and who is a change maker. You've committed yourself and your energy, your time, your soul, your effort, your heart. The darkness you sit in might be lending that guidance or support to some people who just aren't there yet. This assistance is part of the transformation from venom to nectar. There is advice here to try not to judge others who are not caught up to you yet, group 3. Now, does this mean you're doing all the work for them? No, not at all. There's the saying, you catch more flies with honey than vinegar. You're the nectar and the honey. You're the change. This is the light of transformation. And the journey is often sweeter with someone by your side. So group 3, mystics. Dive into the center of the mountain to look for the jewels that you would share with others. Don't sit up in the cold and lofty heights where nobody can reach you. And then your message can't reach others as well. Your light. Your key and your tool is the venom. This truly could not be a more perfect card. Remember when we spoke about you noticing the bloom killers and the frost bringers? This is that ability that you have to suss out the darkness, the poison, the venom. This is about seeing what doesn't serve you, the people around you, a community, and being willing to embrace this as a path to change. The venom truly is the key to what you do. You are unique in that what is toxic is the thing that you thrive on to bring about change. You need the venom in order to shine as brightly as you do. Okay, the other day I was watching a YouTube video, and I don't know how old this one is, but some of you may have seen this video or not. There is a woman, I don't know, she's a diver, and she spends time with sharks, and she removes hooks from them and reaches into their mouths to do so. And she describes the process and kind of her journey in this video. You know, starting out, getting all her cert, like working, getting to the point where, you know, she's comfortable, she's in the water with these creatures. And she said there was one shark that had approached her, and she realized that it had a hook inside its mouth. And in the video, they show her in the process of doing this, literally reaching into the shark's mouth, which, this is what I'm seeing on this card here, these teeth, right? Going into that gaping maw and pulling the hook out. And you see the shark turn, and I mean, it could take her arm off. It could, but it doesn't. And it doesn't look like it's a comfortable process, you know, and it kind of is thrashing around a little bit, turning its head, turning its body. It kind of swims away for a minute, but it comes back. And she said what was interesting was there was a change in its behavior after that. It was much more docile. And from that point forward, other sharks were showing up who also had hooks. And she said it was interesting because it's like they're communicating with one another. You know, this person can help us. And to this date, she has removed 300 hooks. And when you see her diving, these videos, there's sharks around her. She's sitting on the bottom, stroking them, petting them. They're leaning into her touch. It's not what we would always expect. But I see this as you. You know? There's this reminder here to ensure that you insulate yourself in the work that you're doing. You know, the woman who did this, she had gloves, she had gear. She was prepared. She took time, you know, going from snorkeling to diving and doing all the research that she needed to do. You want to make sure you're insulated as you're doing this work, just like she is. Because I think it's all too easy when we're the type of people who can sit with the shadows, sit in the shadows, sit with darkness. People who we might see as aggressive as the sharks, when really they've got the hook in them, and you know, it's something that might need to be removed. And that might cause us over time to get a little bit of burnout as we're spending time with these individuals. We see more shadows. We can become burdened by this effort that we're living and to burn out too soon. So you need to do what you need to do to stay strong. Whether that's surrounding yourself with other mystic types, learning how to set tight boundaries, preparing appropriately, saying no to things that don't serve you, taking a break from social media for a period of time. Any number of things that you personally resonate with that will help the flame inside you burn more brightly. And those things, I mean, self-care, really. This will help you continue to do whatever it is that you do best, and in turn, make our planet a better and more beautiful place to live. And that's actually, I believe, what's inside the mouth of the creature here is the planet. So as the shark lady removes the hooks, draws out the poison, you know, in her own way, the hurt, you're doing the same thing. You're uplifting. I don't think this is something you're walking away from. You were made to do this. If you are here in this group, you have great resolve. And the why of your story, Anima Mundi. Why do you do what you do? I mean, in essence, you are uplifting the consciousness of the planet. Even if you're someone who does something you think of as, we say, small peanuts, you know, that's just change. Little things, not worth such a big energy. Remember that every little movement can create the change that we need. You know, I often go back to the idea that just, you know, one flick of the finger is all it takes, or of the wrist, and that will send a line of dominoes cascading. The mystic's why is about cleaning the soul of humankind, of the planet, and elevating our consciousness. It's about shedding light into all the dark places and transforming them for the betterment of all. So group 3, you are exactly what we need right now. All right, a few things to help you on your way. We have some crystal cards here for you. Let's see if I can get that in focus. Rhodochrosite, which is acceptance. And I believe this is Numite, which means healer. I think I have pieces of Numite somewhere. Okay. Oh, I'm going to bump those up a little bit. There. Okay, you should be able to see this better. All right, so I think we understand why the healer card is popping up here. This is you in a nutshell, whether you think of yourself in this way or not. So for Numite, I'm going to actually read a passage from the guidebook here. And it says that Numite assists in all aspects of the healer's journey, especially working with the shadow and the powerful journey into the darkness or the void, bringing light and wisdom to the soul. Those who connect and work with the stone will embark on a powerful journey of deep healing and self-realization. Working with Numite is a perfect stone for a mystic, and it will support you by increasing your strength and endurance during difficult times, assisting you on your journey to self-mastery and self-love. So this would be a wonderful stone for you to work with, group 3. And one that's relatively inexpensive for smaller tumbled pieces. You can also, again, just take a screenshot of the cards here so that you can tap into the energy at any point. You know, and going back to the rhodochrosite, I hope I'm saying that right. This is a stone with deep healing powers for self-love and compassion and acceptance. It is a teacher of tolerance, allowing us to better sit with all sides of ourselves, all aspects of our personality. The more we accept ourselves, the more we can accept those other people. You know, to better reach other people as we transmute the darkness into light on our journey. More souls touched is bigger change. And this stone is often found at gem and mineral shops. You could put a tumbled piece of it in your pocket, or, you know, wear a gem chip bracelet around your wrist, or just tune into the energy of the cards right here. I often will put these on my nightstand, and then I can sleep and they work actively for me while I am taking a rest. So it can be literally just a picture, and the energy will still be there even if you're not feeling it. All right, and we also have Spirit Cat's card of connection. Isn't that cute? The Spirit Cats remind us that we're not alone. We are a web of connections. Our attitudes, actions, and energy ripple outward and touch people in ways seen and unseen. No single action stands alone. Each action, idea, and feeling is born out of countless influences and in turn has its own unique effect. We see this most clearly and dramatically in our innermost circle, but this also extends outward to humanity, the earth, and the universe. Our consciousness dances together, challenging, uplifting, teaching, learning, questioning, reassuring, inspiring, and loving. Very nice. So to me, that couldn't be more perfect for you, Group 3. The mystic sees the connection between all living things, and our elevation uplifts Anima Mundi, the spirit of our planet. This is you bringing everybody up to here. Bloop. Okay. And I also have, these are Angelus healing cards, and I've been telling all the groups about these. These angel cards are made by an artist. I think her name is Katie Russell, and I'll put her website in the description box. She is an artist out of the States, out of Ohio, I believe, who had an NDE, a near-death experience, and from that point forward was able to talk to the angels, access them, and she paints them. And I found one of her paintings in a little gallery I was going to, and it just was so beautiful. I ended up purchasing it, so I have it in my house, and then I started researching her a little bit, got to her website. So she does sell these on her website. They come in this cute little treasure box, but you can use the cards just like the crystal cards, you know, to work with the energy of the angels she's painted. The energy is there, and it can be quite palpable. Very, very powerful stuff. And so you have this angel, and I had to look up the name, Kayla Ray, which is an angel of peace. There we go. So you can call on Kayla Ray when you find that the darkness or the venom is clouding you too much, when it's become difficult to see the people who are climbing to the summit, and there's just too much separation and there's not enough connection going on. This may be an angel that you'd like to do a little research on. So an angel of peace is Kayla Ray. All right, so group 3, that's the messages surrounding your current story and the role you're playing as the mystic. Hopefully this gave you some advice about moving forward on this journey. I'd love to hear about what resonated for you in the comment box below. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new uploads. Please take care, group 3. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate your support, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye. Hi, group 4. If you picked the Very Hungry Caterpillar Rock, then you are in the right place for your reading on your inner quest and your inner journey right now. So let's take a look at the cards that you have here today. So first of all, we have in the first position our Who card. This is the archetypal side of yourself that is currently dominant in your energy. This is where we need attention in order for you to move forward. So let's see what role you're playing currently. The Eternal Child. Wow, got the sun right there. A lot of positive energy. Okay, so the box is our where, or the setting of the story, the backdrop of your tale, and this also can reveal the struggle that you are currently working your way through. And thirdly, we're going to be moving on to our key card, our tool card. This is where we ask the question, how are we going to fix things? How are we moving forward? We ask with what? And what's going to be helping you move forward is the vow. Got a bird flying freely. And finally, we're going to be looking at our why. This is the initiation card. What are you being invited to integrate? What is the deeper purpose of your current quest? And this is Gnosis. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Look at that. Super colorful. Just like you. If you're here, group 4, and you got the Eternal Child, you're a very colorful person. Okay, let's talk about that. So, the Eternal Child, the Inner Child, the Child of Joy, those are all names for you. And there's that saying, with age comes wisdom. And that's definitely true. If you are an older person watching this and you're reading The Eternal Child, age does not stop you at all from tapping into the zest and the zeal for life that you possess. You just are the type of person that seems to kind of float and flit and fly above life like a butterfly. Oh, everyone else is the caterpillar down here. And the rest of the world's just kind of bubbling along down below, just moving along a little more slowly. Things might be a little easier where you are, at least superficially. And I feel like people would look up and just be dazzled when they see you above them. Sunny optimism, that inner glow that you have. It's like you have sequins that are just, etched into your soul. So you may be a bit of a traffic stopper, Group 4, and it really is, it's not just the looks, but it's really your attitude about everything. It's the way you carry yourself. There may be a bit of capriciousness here. You may be prone to whimsy and possess kind of a natural playfulness. And as a result, you may have a challenging time sticking to norms or expectations, but I mean, who needs those, right? You probably have a posse of friends and lovers and followers, and they also help just kind of keep things moving along for you, give you some buoyancy. There may be occasions where you have a little too much fun, and that can leave you feeling a little crappy the next day. Some members of this group may struggle with addictions as well, and that doesn't have to be just of substance abuse, but it could be eating, it could be shopping. There's all kinds of things. The thing to remember, though, above all else, I mean, you're the sun here. You're the rainbow. You seek joy. No is not a word that you are likely accustomed to. And if you're a creative type, it may fuel you to go beyond what's expected, and there could be very dazzling results for you. So Group 4, you do have some innate magic, and you can make it out of the mundane, out of just the everyday. Everyone wants to have a sip of what you're having. This is a very joyful role to play, and this is, I think, where we're going to see where our challenge lies. So I don't mean to be kind of laughing, but it's a little amusing. Because in every good story, we have to have a problem and some tension, and that's where this archetype is definitely coming in for you. The box goes against your grain. As the eternal child, you want to be free and running through the field of sunflowers. You are not meant to be restricted or confined, because that's what the box is about: constrictions and norms and rules and expectations, regulations. I actually see you suddenly awakening inside the box. Like, how did I get here? You're finding it much too claustrophobic for you, and you are banging on the walls to be let out. But you soon realize that nobody on the outside is going to help. Even if they can see you, they can hear you, they know you're in there, you're struggling. But you are the only person that can get yourself out here. So what are you struggling with right now? What are your challenges, Group 4? For some of you, something may have caught up with you. This box is an archetype that holds you in place, and it keeps you from realizing your visions. And it could be that you are struggling with some kind of expectation or pressure or fear right now. Your sparkling personality, it could be, others' preconceived notions of how one who looks or who acts like you should be looking and acting and doing. So, pressures, societal expectations. It might be that you're in the big leagues of something and you need a minute because the pressure's gotten to you. It could be that you're struggling with a serious illness or an injury, something that sidelined you from whatever, your career, how you see yourself, how you move through the world. And you may be wondering what life will be like after this. How do you define yourself, redefine yourself? Is this a rebirth? And for some of you, the thought of fleeting youth has got you anxiously studying the mirror. The most important thing to remember, though, is that the box's walls are constructed out of confining thoughts. And these thoughts shift and they grow as we do. Once you break through one layer, there's going to be another, as we can see here. And I think the message for you here today, Group 4, is to keep pushing through these layers, because so much of this is a mental construct. It's about disruption and pushing the envelope. how you're getting out. But it's also about growth. The eternal child has the joie de vivre that many others envy, and it can be easy to stay in that glimmering palace and perhaps, again, even addictive for some. So you want to be careful about pushing away any opportunities that may challenge you for true growth, because it's within the challenge that growth lives. That's where you want to access that power. And so perhaps for some of you, life's gotten a little too comfy, and this box, the one you woke up in, it's not yours, and it requires you to go within and confront some of those fears that are currently bubbling up from the inside. You may have suppressed them. So what are you confronting here? And your key, your tool to solving the mystery of this is the vow. So this is what it sounds like. It's about promises and oaths. It's about contracts. When we take a vow consciously or unconsciously, it holds weight. Digging into what lies beneath as you are inside of the box can lead to some serious decision analysis. What are my next steps? Do I stay in this job that pays well but has zero heart? Do I really need to keep this person in my circle of acquaintances? How can I get more comfortable with myself and rely less on external validations? What needs healing? Your next steps beyond analysis involve you making a vow or upholding one that perhaps you'd forgotten about. The vow isn't the key until you use it. You have to enact your promise to yourself. If you thought the inside of the box was uncomfortable, coming to terms with whatever is haunting you is one thing. But action, when you get out, is a different type of discomfort. Making amends with yourself or others can be challenging. You know, as some folks who are in like AA, those kinds of programs for sobriety or other things for addictions, that's part of what you have to do is make amends. But as you start to make those amends, as you start to make these changes, you know, opening up to others, being a little more transparent, your heart and your soul start to see how you are prioritizing yourself, your growth, and you will start to feel better. There's more freedom here. You will feel good in ways that you likely had not felt before, even imagined that you could feel that way, despite the freedom that you had before and the sunshine. There's still sunshine here. It's different though. So this is really about shifting toward your destiny. Group 4. Where are you going to go from here? What will you do? This really is an inner quest, and it's an epic one. If you are here, wow. So the why of your story is Gnosis. So, yeah, perhaps the story has been about the inner quest the whole time. Figuring out a way to reflect and to go inward so that new knowledge and truths about yourself are revealed. Never-ending layers. We had many never-ending layers here, but this is a different one. This is the end result. This is a journey that may change you in ways that you never anticipated. So you may start to find that you develop a stronger interest in mysticism or healing, mental health. You may discover you have an insatiable appetite for learning, for digging deep into a new passion and sharing that wisdom and understanding with other people. You might learn a new trade, a hobby, take on a new career. The more you know, the more you realize you don't know. You've reached a point with this acceptance, knowing that there's always more to unearth. And suddenly any additional layers to the box have become less confining or restrictive, and instead you find yourself moving through them like tissue paper, just tearing it up. And you're excited about what comes next. And look at, we have the bird here 2 times. There's freedom for you. And so things that once lit you up may no longer do so. And there may be some larger shifts that come about because of your first exploratory steps outside of your comfort zone. That's one hell of a journey, Group 4. All right, so I have a little extra support for you as you're working your way through this in the form of crystal cards, and we have a spirit cat card and then an angel card as well. So our first crystal card is hematite. This is a pretty easy stone to get a hold of, and it's for grounding and protection. It might look like this. This is a pretty big piece. Usually when you get it polished, it's very dark and shiny. Okay, let's talk about hematite here. So this is a wonderful grounding stone, and it's a good one to help center the eternal child. And I like that that's even lined up right underneath that. This helps you settle into this inner quest, the idea of the inner quest, like everything's going to be okay. This is a stone of detoxification of all levels, the mind, the body, the soul. And we kind of talked about like substance for some people might be an issue, or addictions of types. This will help kind of clear that out. I'm not saying that that fixes things. It does not, but it can be part of, assistance. And this stone works wonders with our aura and our energy field. It's very, very gentle. It works subtly. And it can also help after any shock or trauma that has taken place. It's very balancing. It reminds you to be present, to take a deep breath and relax into yourself. It's also a stone that's quite affordable for those who like working with crystals. So, and I'll say this, I have another one coming up too, but for either crystal card that you see here, just take a screenshot of the card to work with its energy. If you're looking to purchase, relatively inexpensive, you can find reputable, ethical stone dealers online, metaphysical shops, even stoneworks, lapidary, all kinds of places will have like gems or minerals for you to snatch up. But I recommend keeping hematite or a picture of hematite, a card like this, nearby in places where you feel more stressed, or you feel like you may be likely to pull in more negative energy, or just where you feel like there's going to be more of an imbalance and you need some more grounding energy. Hematite will work to balance out your energy fields while you sleep, so you can keep a piece on a nightstand, under a pillow, in your pocket, at work, on your desk, near your computers. It's a great one to have around, and again, pretty affordable. You can even get it in chip bracelets, wear those. And I also heard that energy goes on the left side of the body, so you'd wear it, on the left side, left wrist, left pocket, and that kind of thing. All right, and I think this is how we say this, diopside, might be wrong. This is so pretty. So this would be specifically the green variety, and this is associated with Mother Earth, which I think is interesting because, again, it's kind of like about being grounded and not being so caught up in like mental ruminations, which I feel like that's a lot of what the box energy is. So this stone is associated also with our heart chakra because of this color green, and the stone's also green here. The heart chakra is the bridge between our upper and lower chakras. It's the seat of healing and compassion in all of us, and it really helps you go inward to connect with your own heart, this is the diopside, to connect with your needs, and it can help assist in healing any mother wound energy that may also be hanging around. So these two crystals, I think, in conjunction with one another, feel like a really perfect pair for you as you are working through your healing journey. So hematite and diopside. Okay. And then for our spirit cat, we have this one here, expression. So darling. And I think that's perfect. Like, if this isn't little like happy Peter Pan energy, eternal child energy, I don't know what is. Okay. So, meet Shanti. She once kept her ideas and feelings locked away in her heart where no one could see or hear them. It felt safe and secure, but alas, she felt so alone. No one truly knew her. She was longing to come out and play. Gathering her courage, she flung open the window in her mind and unlatched the doorway in her soul. She started to speak her mind and give voice to her heart. She could never again fit in that small, closed space of hiding. Wow, this is so spot on. Soon her words grew into unabashed singing. What song are you keeping captive? What song at long last can you unleash into the world? Yeah, so it's even got some of that star quality to it. So there may be some people here that, again, kind of big leagues, maybe a little famous in one sense or another. Wow, that couldn't be more perfect. Okay. And then finally, I want to talk about these angel cards, these little tiny Angelus angel cards. I've just been telling all the groups about this. The creator of this deck, Katie Russell, is an artist out of Ohio, in the States. And she was in a car accident, I believe, and she had a near-death experience, an NDE, and after that point was able to see and communicate with angels. And you can actually feel it in her work. I have one of her paintings, and it's just amazing. It's incredible energy. And if you're interested, she has these beautiful little cards you can get off her website, which open you up to angelic energy. And just like I was mentioning with the crystal cards, these are things that you can keep on your nightstand or nearby you, in your pocket, in your wallet, as you get to know these angels a little bit more. So I believe this is pronounced Mir. Angel Mir. It says promise. I'm noticing the colors are very similar to your spirit cat card too. Let's talk about Mir. So this is an angel of friendships. This angel can help with building trust, perhaps a start is by honoring the vow or the promise that we made to ourselves here, building that trust. So this angel can help us to see patterns in the way that we act with ourselves and with others. Promise and vow. I mean, it's perfect. So you can call Mir to your side when you need that additional support as you're making your way through your journey. That's just perfect. So group 4, that's the message surrounding your current story and the role you're playing in it. Hopefully this gave you some advice about moving forward in your starring role. I'd love to hear about what resonated for you in the comment box below. So please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new uploads. Take care, group 4, and thanks so much for being here. I appreciate your support, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye, group 4.